MPC 3? What? Yes, MPC 3 is finally here. What is MPC 3? Well, MPC 3 is a update for the hardware devices of the Kai MPC hardware line. And to tell the truth, I'm excited about it, man. I think it's super dope. I got the Force, and I feel like some great features from the Force have been brought over into the MPC world. And today we're going to watch part of the video and kind of react to it. So let's do it. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for overtime grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today we're going to react to the MPC3 overview. I already like the fact that it's got a bunch of colors. Like, one thing, I know it might sound corny to the world and a bunch of different people, and hey, it is what it is. But one thing I've always thought when I looked at the MPC screen, especially since we've came to these newer screens, is that the first screen deserves more color, you know what I mean? And as you open up and really work with the plugins, as somebody who works in standalone heavy, when you see the detailed UI of the plugins and certain things, you start to kind of think like, man, it'd be dope if they added a bunch of extras to the screen. So I'm happy about that. I like the fact that it's got the wave, the preview of the wave. I like the fact that it's got the preview of the wave on the main screen. You know what I mean? The arranger window is dope. It's pretty cool. I use it a lot. And the Akai Force, I only have one real gripe about that, and I'll talk about that at a certain time. But all these things are things that are in the Force, and I think it's overdue for the MPC. I really like that view, though. I like being able to see the wave file and see exactly what I'm doing. It'll probably make me go in and start to mess with the attack and different things a lot more. I also like that from the main screen, we can click one button and now go, like on the live tube, you could go straight to the program edit. I like that. Let's see what Andy Matt talking about, though. I feel like it's super dope that we got these MPCs, and I remember getting the old machines and having to buy a new machine every time something came out. You got a couple updates, but then you had to buy a new machine to get the updated stuff. So to see these machines constantly be updated, I think is super dope. That's the thing I like. See, and then right there, you can go straight to your drum effects. I think that's something that's super dope. You know what I mean? I think that's something that's super dope. Just the ability to have everything color-coded. It's the small things, you know what I mean? While people will complain about that, the being able to have everything color-coded, it's kind of like Machine. It's Machinist, you know what I mean? It's kind of like Machine, but it's the MPC. And the MPC workflow, the piano roll, I know, they're trying to get the piano roll to look a lot like the computer and with the touchscreen. The touchscreen UI is still something a lot of people are getting used to. I'm getting used to it myself, but I also believe that it's something super necessary for something like the MPC because it's got so many levels, and you could deep dive and really do so many things in a computer dedicated to music and giving you a specific sound. So, I think those improvements are dope. Let's keep going. I definitely like the way it handles audio tracks, full songs. I've always recorded full songs in my MPCs, but I think other people now, it'll be a little bit more straightforward for them. That's the move right there. That's way better. See, that's just like the Force. You know what I mean? When you create a new track, you just long press a button and then boom, it pops right up. So the duplicate button is hard too. If you notice, go back. So if you notice right here, it looks like you have two grids. You have two menus all the time. You got a menu right here, which is like your regular menu that's always there. But it looks like now you got a pencil and some other stuff you duplicate. And then you have your menu underneath. So it looks like they've changed some of the real estate, which definitely will give you more shortcuts to get where you need to go. It just makes it more efficient and intuitive. I think a lot of people are upset or scared about how it's going to break your workflow, but it'll probably make it more efficient. just cut steps down that take 2 steps, 3 steps will now be 1 step. I like that feature a lot. That's SP404-ish right there, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's dope. So here's my only downside to this. Now, when you do the 1-to-track workflow, the only problem is on tracks like a drum track that you bring in a whole kit. Now, if you want to stem out, say have your kick on one track and your snare on another track, the only way to do that is to create MIDI tracks. So you would have your one drum track, and then you would create a MIDI track, and then you would send that MIDI track to control your drum track. And now you would just have a MIDI note where the snare is, and so you'll be triggering these MIDI tracks to trigger your hi-hats, your snares, and everything else if you wanted to independently do your drums. At least that's how I have to do it on the Force. You know, I kind of don't like that, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It kind of messes up how you do your drums. We'll definitely see how it goes when I get my hands on it. It might be different than the Force because the Force, you know, doesn't deal with tracks the way that this screen is right here. So the way this is, it's kind of linear, I guess, and on the Force it's more up and down kind of. So, you know, you can fill up the visual real estate really quickly with these ghost tracks, ghost MIDI tracks. But other than that, it's okay. It's not that bad. It works out. It helps you get songs done faster. So it still has sequences available. I wonder how that's going to work with your shift and a pad to navigate the menu. That's the same as the Force. That's available too. I wonder, can we automate that? That's a good question. I would like to know, can we automate the on and off of the effects? That's something I've always wondered. I don't think that you can, but that would be extremely dope if we can automate the on and off like mute. That'll help a lot of people out. That would be extremely dope. That would save a lot of work when you're doing stuff with filters. Yeah, I think that would definitely help a lot of people out. You know, so far a lot of the stuff I think will help people out. A lot of the things that I see people complain about, the reason why they use a DAW or the reason why they go to a computer, they're putting it here. You know what I mean? I definitely think that this will help people get the most out of their machine because, to be honest, most people are only utilizing 15 or 30% of their MPC. Even the people who are showing you master classes, there's so much stuff they don't cover, so many techniques and different things that you got to kind of explore and learn how to work them on your own. So I think the ability to have some of these shortcuts and add some of these things to make it more intuitive, I think that's something that's definitely going to help people get more from their MPC. Reordering tracks is super important. Let's fast forward through this. Yeah, so far I think it's dope, man. Well, I think people are scared to change, but there's no reason to be scared to change, bro. And at some point you could just stop the change because you don't have to keep updating. I like the fact that they're doing this standalone and beta first, because I feel like it's going to get a lot of people into having their own sound, because now the way you record, what you record, how you mix it, all of these things now kind of give you your own sound and give you some time on your box just to try to get it together. I think that's super dope. I think long pressing that is super nice. You know what I mean? Updated, I think it's super dope. Okay. Man, I really enjoy the arrangement view and the Force. So I'm happy that you guys are going to get it on the MPC. And of course, I'm going to make master classes and a bunch of videos to help you through it. You know what I mean? I know there's going to be everybody and their mom making technical videos, but over here and this side of the world, you know, I'm appreciative for you tapping in with me. Thing about it, that's what I might name it, tapping in with O.T.G or something. You know, I appreciate my little corner of YouTube. But yeah, I think the arranger window is going to help a lot of you guys just get further. I still got nothing but positive reviews for it. You know what I mean? I think that all of these upgrades definitely are going to help you utilize things that were already in the MPC. It's just going to be more intuitive and straightforward on how to get to it in your MPC. It's super dope to have the audio editor because the audio editor in the MPC is pretty dope. You have to think he's doing all this stuff standalone. No computer. Just take it with you on your live too, or do it all in a dedicated environment built for creating music and handling music in the best ways, you know what I mean? So I could see right there that they've added what I was just saying. You know, that's probably why they don't have the on and off automation, because you could just go in and draw it in the automation window. But, you know, to make it faster and more efficient, it would be cool just to automate on and off messaging. I also want to say for you guys who have Ableton Live, really take advantage of exporting your tracks out as an Ableton Live session. It's super dope. It's something that I've, again, been utilizing since using the Force. If you have a Live 2, you can download, there's the network MIDI, and you could definitely hook to the Force and do hook to your MPC via your network in your house and do some things. So make sure you check that out. You could slowly make your song speed up. That's pretty dope. Or slow it down, chop it in half. And now you would just either loop it out, select it and loop it out. Let's see how they do it. See? So it's the same as doubling out your sequence, the one sequence method. And now we're going to those. See, so this is a lot of people who do the one track method the way I show a lot. You can still get it done. I wanted you guys to be able to see this. You can still get it done. It's always still available. There's still a way to do it. It never disappears. You just gotta kind of change your methodology. And you could probably still go to track mute and mute it, and it would just show up in your arrangement window if you want to do it by hand. So as to making the beat and the arranger, it's no different. Alright, so they got their stems. So that right there is something that is the same on the Force, you know what I mean? Which is dope to see them. When you hold down your Q-Link button, your knobs button on the Force, you get that same project window, you know what I mean? And then you have performance effects using your Q-Link knobs. So that's something dope to see they brought over. You know, the crazy thing about it is that the Force is on 3.30 and the MPCs were on 2.15, and now they seemingly look like they're going to be at 3.0, which would say to me that a lot of different things they were doing on the Force were leading the way for the MPC, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of guys don't like to hear that. I do believe I've seen today that the Force is going to be updated, you know what I mean? And that's super dope. This XY pad effects macro controls, they're adding that. That's something else. A lot of this stuff, I think, like I said, man, you can watch this whole video over at O.T.G. I'm just going to talk while it plays out and maybe hit some of the other stuff that they're talking about. I'll put it up on the screen. Let's see, track mixer, track settings, pad mixer, slice motion, disc streaming. Yeah, overall, I think this is super dope. I think that we're on the right side of history. It's pretty amazing to see a machine have stems. It's pretty dope to see a machine and standalone add all of these capabilities, you know, and keep updating the devices. Like, you know, some people bought their MPCs as low as $600. I know people bought ones for $400, you know, and they have this constant ability to keep updating, and then one day it's going to stop, right? So we know one day it's not gonna, they're gonna max out and it's just gonna be the end, maybe. But until that day, thinking of the past MPCs and machines, how long people had them operating on the OS they have on there. When these max out, the capabilities that this one machine will have for the next X amount of years is amazing. You know what I mean? And I think it's super dope. Hats off to Akai for making one of the best machines on the market. You know what I mean? And you guys know I had the SP404. I love it. I think it's the best sampler on the market. But the MPC is all in one. You know what I mean? And I hear all the stuff about, you could just get a computer and do this and do that. That's cool. You know what I mean? Everybody has their preference, and whatever they choose, that's what they do. But if you've had an old school MPC and still know that this is built off that backbone, just because they changed program edit to track edit, even though the windows still look the same, some of these changes are just to help update people and help people who are having a hard time understanding their machine, getting their machine. Adjusting tracks and reordering tracks is super dope. You get what I'm saying? I think that's super dope. Let's see, the slice motion. Let's see what this is. I'm not gonna sit here and fraud like I know what that is. We're gonna check it out. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty hard. That might be pretty dope just with sample chops, man. Give you something pretty dope. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Like I'm saying, bro, it's just tools. They just giving us a bunch of tools, and you gotta be thankful for a company that still wants to deliver you tools, especially in the world. Well, let's check out the disc streaming. And see, so people kept asking me about how is that going to work, or what would be an instance where you utilize that, and my answer kept being in long recording situations. So think you just made your whole beat, you got it all good, you bounce out the stems, you bring the stems back into another project so you can record over the stems, right? So you did all the arrangement, you muted everything, you got everything right where you want it. Now when you come in a disc streaming situation, you know what I mean, where now you're just essentially laying vocals down over these files that aren't going to change. This is where disc streaming becomes extremely important, because now you could really get a super dope vocal in and be able to push your recording to the next level, because you don't have all that stuff loaded into the memory. The only thing that's going to be in the memory is the new stuff that you recorded. And by being able to record your verses, get them all in there, and then offload them to the hard drive to stream from the disc, will allow you to make some super intricate songs. You know what I mean? Even if you still have an 8-track audio limit, you just bounce down your verses to a drum track, put it on pad 1, trigger it from pad 1, and then boom, now you have unlimited space to keep going. You can kind of get what I mean? And that's the only other thing I kind of want to know. Do they remove the track limit, the audio track limit with this update, or are we still going to run into an 8-track audio limit? Yep, so that's going to wrap it up, man. I think that is super dope. I seen on Loopop's video that they said they're not going, that since they're not working on the software yet, so maybe the beta's going to take 4 or 5 months before they release it. Maybe they're going to release it and then the software at a later date. But I think it's dope that it's standalone. I love that fact. You know, I feel like you can just take the stems and import them to the computer and do your best work that way. You know what I mean? The controller mode option, you can still play VSTs over the stems and all that other stuff. So, you know, I think it's super dope. I think that it's fire that like I said earlier, that the company did what they did, that they keep updating these devices, even the legacy devices. I think that I'm glad to be in this time period where things like this is happening. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would never be doing this. I feel like they didn't care about the consumer because maybe it wasn't social media. And because there wasn't social media, they didn't feel like they could get bad reviews or people to talk bad as quickly as possible, or they didn't have an operating fan base of people constantly saying what's important and not important. But let me know how you feel in the comments, man. It's your brother O.T.G. I'm going to have courses and everything coming soon as I get my hands on the update. I'm still going to have my Force and MPC videos. You know how we do. We do it straight from the box, man. Follow me, 365 O.T.G. And we out, bro. And just to be fair, maybe when you stem out your track, there's an option to explode the drums, the drum track. Maybe there's an option to, just explode out the drum track so you could utilize it in that kind of way. Maybe when you stem it out. But inside of the MPC, it would be dope, especially if we are working on full songs in the MPC, to be able to either explode it out into its own drum track, into its own individual tracks that we could then arrange, or it would save the arrangement and then put the MIDI notes in place, or some kind of way like that. I'm not sure. I don't have it yet.